Hey you guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel where I hope you guys stay uplifted, motivate you, and find peace amongst yourself. So if you're interested in these type of videos, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up by leaving a like. Make sure you're commenting down below. And make sure you're subscribed by turning on your notification bell already if it's not, as well as follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter at Ty_guidance and on Facebook at Talks with Ty to stay up to date. And all of that information will be down in the description box below. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, you guys. It's 5:51 p.m. Today is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021, and I'm putting on some lotion, you guys, because I have really bad like OCD, I guess. So like I don't like my hands to feel dry. It really, or maybe it's a pet peeve, not OCD, but like it's a pet peeve of mine when I wash my hands, and I guess because I wash my hands so much that they just feel weird that I have to moisturize my hands. But good evening, good morning, good afternoon, you guys. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are enjoying the month of October so far by reflecting and practicing daily. Like I said, make sure you guys follow me on my other social medias. They'll be down in the description box below. So for today's video, we will go over and discuss why is it important to set boundaries. So for those of you who are new here, hello. Thank you guys so much who have been searching my name and having your notifications on. I see you guys so much. Shout out to Bryson Jackson. He is like the best subscriber that I have. They're very active, loves to interact with me. So shout out to you, as well as those of you who have your notifications on and been with me on this journey. So something that I like to do before I start the video is I like to look up keywords for the title / topic, and I like to define them, and I do so by using a dictionary of thesaurus. And the reason for it is to not only refresh you all, but to reassure you what these words mean, how they have a significant value, to not better understand what we're going to talk about, as well as understanding how you may perceive it and how it may be interpreted. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start today's video. So as I'm moisturizing my hands, why is it important to set boundaries? So what I realized was helping along my journey when it came to this year, because I do believe that every single year what I realized for me is to grow, and in order for me to grow, to understand where I was a year ago, where I am going throughout the year, how the year has been, and just taking the time to reflect. With doing so, I've learned to set boundaries and have priorities. So for this month of October, what I will be discussing and going over is making priorities. I've made a playlist specifically for that. So the words I chose to break down for today's video and to define really quickly are the words important, set, and priorities. So why is it important to set boundaries? The word important is when you have a great significance or value, so something that is profound to be successful in a survival mode and a well-being, so something that is the main or the key that can be powerful or influential, so having a high rank or status, as well as having a significant value or a principle. So the word principle is something that comes first in order to maintain. The word significant is when you have a great or important to be worthy or of attention. So that's what the word important means. The two other words that I chose were set and priorities. So why is it important to set priorities? The word set, something that you do. To set something means that you're bringing it to a into a specified state, or you're placing it down, or you're putting it somewhere. So to put something means you're moving it into a particular position or to a place, and a place is a particular position. So why is it important to set boundaries? So we went over the word important as well as the word set. So lastly, what does priorities mean? And priority can be used as a noun. So priority is when you're able to have a condition or being regarded to treat something that has importance, or something that could be a prime concern, something that is first concern, or having a value regarded with a fact, or how you choose to condition it. So your priorities are regarding something that has a higher value than others. So why is it important to set priorities? What I realize when it comes to setting priorities is establishing your priorities so you're necessary and able to understand what it is you would like to complete or achieve and everything that needs to be done. So when it comes to prioritizing yourself, what I realize it's important to, allow yourself to give attention to things that require a set amount of attention, as well as to understand the tasks that may be urgent to you or what you feel like is important, so you can focus and learn to prioritize in a specific order. So it's important to set priorities when it comes to your mental health, when it comes to healing, when it comes to understanding who you are and what your intentions are, especially throughout the year and every single day. Because when you're able to value and have a understanding of how things affect you, you're able to understand and accept, okay, what it is that you can be doing or what it is that you're not be doing. So what I realized when it comes to setting priorities and why it's important for me as well as you all is to realize, what is it that I want in life that I would like to achieve? What is it that I haven't been achieving, and how does it make me feel? So, like everybody in life, learning to decide which things are important so you're not giving your time and energy. And throughout this year, I've set a lot of priorities for myself, and I'm very proud of myself because I was able to fall through and understand how they have affected me. So, realizing that, certain people, certain locations, certain relationships I've outgrown, and that it's okay for me to outgrow these relationships because of the priorities that I want for myself. So in a couple of months I'll be turning 25, and I had certain goals for me, and it's not to say that you will or will not achieve your goals at a certain time, but just to know that that's what you want to be focusing on. In order for something to change, you have to do something different than what you were doing before. So previously, in the year before, it wasn't to say that I didn't have priorities and I didn't know what I need or wanted. And that's the same thing with you. It's not to say that you don't know what you need and want in your life, but in order to actually get in the knit of the grit and to come up with a solution, I realized that if there's no solution, there's no problem. So if there's no problem, there's no solution. So not stressing yourself out, because you guys know I do not like to stress. For those of you who are new here, I don't like to stress. Throughout this entire year, I haven't stressed at all. I've had days where I was bored, but I've learned not to stress. And if you guys follow me, you know that I've stressed one time within the last year, and I received a gray hair, and ever since then I'm just like, I don't want to stress because I don't want gray hair. Like, it's not to throw shade to anybody who has gray hair, but for me, being 24 turning 25, maybe when I'm 30. So realizing that when it comes to prioritizing myself, understanding the type of company that I had, and realizing that it's okay to, like, set priorities, because I've realized what has helped me along my journey, that everyone that I used to associate with is not going to be there for me. They are people that I used to know, they serve their purpose. And what I've realized as well, in order to have new things in your life, to have a new environment, to have a new relationship, you have to get rid of the old. And learning to set boundaries, having priorities is important, and why it's important to set them so you're able to understand, okay, like, what do you want to put your energy and your time to? Because we only live once. I say that all the time. We only live once. So what I realized is living my life for me, taking control for me, is not like to say that I've never took my life seriously or you guys haven't took your life seriously. But when you're specific on why you want to set your priorities, you're able to understand specifically what it is that you want to do. So rather if you're starting a business, rather you're learning a new language, rather you're going back to school, rather you're doing something that you've never been exposed to, knowing that it's an opportunity, and just because you're learning to do something doesn't mean that you're not able to, process the information, or that you won't do well. So when it comes to healing, when it comes to growing, changing what you're doing and changing your environment, in order for the world collectively to change, if I want to see an impact, I have to be able to reflect, because we as people can only project what we feel and what we know. So for example, I come on here, I give you guys my, suggestion, advice. I give you guys story times from my personal experience, to help those who want to be helped, because it's a choice, to make priorities. It's a choice to believe in yourself. It's a choice to healing, and it's a process. Like, I can only, speak from the experience that I have and inform you guys by looking keywords in the dictionary. That's why I like to do that, because I don't want to just, give straight opinions, because I believe anybody can, speak from their opinions. But I feel like if your opinions are not going to be productive, to me at least, suggesting and advising them to people, if they're not going to help them, motivate them, or get them to where they need to be, it's just that. So that's why on my channel I got suggest and advise. Like, sometimes, I speak from my opinion. I try not to, but I have good balance, and I understand, like, to me when it's appropriate, or if I want to joke, or if I want to, because everyone's entitled to feel how they feel. That's why I never invalidate how anybody feels, because nobody gets to invalidate how I feel. So it's important to set priorities for yourself so you're able to understand, you know, what it is that you want to focus on, because every single year in your life is different. So like where you were in the beginning of the year, where you are in the middle of the year, and even how you end up the year, even if you've been in the same environment, you're going to go through so many days. That's why I tell you guys, Monday through Friday, Saturday through Sunday, it doesn't change. December to January doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the actual year. So realizing how this year has affected you. So for example, the beginning of this year, I had set priorities, and like I said, I stopped associating with a lot of people, and I've come to realize that because I was able to set my priorities and because it was important to me, I was able to achieve a lot more than I would have if I still kept the same company. And knowing that in order to change, you have to grow, and knowing that it's a choice. So like if anybody, you know, doesn't appreciate you growing or cannot respect you, these people are not to be around you. Not suggesting advice to take some time to yourself to reflect. So like for me, I've isolated myself for 10 months, and I've been working on myself and my channel, and just processing what my priorities are within the last 7 to 8 months, and realizing how far I've came, and how I realized that certain relationships are no longer for me because the values. And when you prioritize yourself, you are able to establish yourself. Like in order for me to be the woman that I want to be the girlfriend that I want to be, the partner, the business, whatever it is, woman, I have to be able to be in the position to align myself with. Like what I've realized, what has helped me along my journey, was to set priorities and to make priorities. So like doing so just took me to like I said, reflect where I was last year. Last year I was in Idaho Springs, Colorado. The year before that I was in Colorado Springs. So like realizing where I was a year ago, where I am now, how that's affected me, and realizing that when it comes to living your life, there's no right or wrong way to do so. So why is it important to set priorities? You're able to establish what is necessary. Like if you have a goal, know that anything in life is possible. And like when you start something that you've never done before, it is a process. Like me starting my own business, like I've been at my channel, but for me to take it like seriously like this year, I'm very grateful that I chose to do so, because one thing I realized with a lot of people like to dwell, and it's okay because everyone feels in life, everybody's trying to understand who they are. But what I've realized is that because I was aware and because I had the knowledge to do certain things, the only person who was affected by my poor decisions or not making any decisions at all was me. So when it comes to having priorities, you're able to set boundaries for yourself, you're able to reflect, and you're able to move forward, because unfortunately, just like me, and I'm pretty sure like you know, we can't go back in the past. So realizing that we can't go back in the past, learning to live and accept the present, so therefore we can move forward. So like when it comes to healing, when it comes to dealing with depression as well, realizing that anything in your past moments, anything that you're holding on to, is going to keep you stagnant, which is going to cause you to feel more emotional baggage and pain. And only person who is being suffered and dealing with that is you. And it's not to invalidate what you went through, because everybody in life is going to suffer. Some people suffer more than others. It just depends on your, you know, and your environment and your resources, and what, you know, causes you to make the decisions. And that's why I've also learned to set priorities, so you don't go through the same things in life. The purpose of life, what I realized for me as well as you all, is to learn and to grow, and to say it's okay that you made certain decisions. It's okay that you used to be friends with people who didn't appreciate you. It's okay if you were loving and giving and nobody gave you the same energy. It's okay if you got fired. It's okay if you're homeless. It's okay if all these things did not work out for you, because what I realized, the most important thing when it comes to just experiencing life, is just to be grateful to be alive, and to be very fortunate, and realize that as every day goes on, that you have a chance and opportunity. And because every day is going to continue to go on, life doesn't stop just because you are not having a bad day, to realize, hey, what can I do, or what is it that I'm not doing? You know, you're going to have days where you may feel productive and you want to do everything you can. Then you may have days where you're just like, I don't feel like doing that. And like the beginning of this year, before I started to really get my priorities in order, I had days where I was like, today I'm gonna do this, and then the next day I was just like, I don't feel like doing anything. And that's okay, because with every action comes a consequence. So realizing what you're doing, realizing how it affects you, like the decisions you make, a lot of people are not aware of the decisions they make because they just make them. And what I realized, what you put out is what you get. So because we all equally live here on earth, everything is in front of us already, all the tools, all the resources. If it's not inside of you, like if it's not in you, it is in front of you. So realizing, okay, what are you wanting to project? What are you able to take in, and what are you able to give back? So if you're not realizing that, you know, you went through 3 relationships and they weren't really for you, what are you giving to these people? What type of attitude, what type of mentality do you have that you keep attracting the same people? Because until you learn or go through what is meant for you, you're going to continue to receive the same energy. So if you put out negative energy and you have negative energy inside of you, your result is more than likely to have a negative situation, versus changing your perspective, changing your mentality, realizing what you're thinking and saying to have a different outcome. That's like people say, you know, if somebody believes that they can't do something, that they can't, versus if somebody takes the time to say that they can. It's all about perspective. And for me, because I've been knew my purpose a long time ago, it was just the fact that I needed to take, you know, responsibility. Because once again, when it comes to setting priorities and why it's important, you hold yourself accountable. So the goals that you have don't have to be outrageous or big or small. Like, it's up to you. And that's why it's important to set your priorities for you, because you can start off small and then work your way up big, or you can do big and then work your way small. Like, it's an option and it's a choice. And because there's no right or wrong way or to say to do so, knowing that your priorities are a reflection of you, so what you value. So taking the time to reflect, you know, not being so hard on yourself, forgiving yourself, accepting what you've been through, and allowing yourself to process where you want to go and how it affects you. So why is it important to set priorities? It's important to establish what is necessary for you and what you want to do and how you want to do it, so you can get what you need done and realize where you want to go in your life, rather it takes you 3 days, 3 hours, or 30 minutes.